What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel, AJG Bro. In today's video, I will be talking about the top 10 strongest bosses in Fortnite. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications to see when I post my next video, and leave a comment down below to show your support. Now let's get into the video. Alright, as I said in the intro, we're going to be talking about the top 10 strongest bosses in Fortnite in just 10 seconds. So I'm going to be naming the reasons why they're the strongest and what they use to get them to be the strongest. Number 10, Zig. Now this guy was very powerful. He had a mythic ray gun that was different than the other ones. The other ones shot out purple beams. This one shot out orange beams that did more damage, I think. And even at his place, he had parasites all over it. So if you were dealing with Zig, you would have a parasite come on your head and would eat you, like your head, and you would take a lot of damage. Like you would take 50 damage to go to like if you were at 100, you would go to 50 damage if you had one on your head. And the only weakness for the parasite is to go into water, or someone shoots you. So like Zig was very powerful. I saw a lot of videos online of like Zig versus Dr. Sloan, and Zig won every single time. Even though Sloan can create 3 people of herself, Zig always came out on top. Number 9, Raz. Now this guy, he was pretty powerful to beat. I needed a full trio to take this guy down, but his abilities were very powerful. He had a golden boom bow that would do a lot of damage. And even when you were super far away, he could use this thing where he hold his hand up and a lot of power would come out of him, and he could just do a lot of damage to you. He was very powerful. Thank God that guy was out of the game, because he was a very powerful boss. Alright, number 8, Brutus. Now, a lot of you might disagree with this, but I say that he deserves number 8 because of the minigun. The minigun was a very, very powerful weapon. It could spray like no ever gun in the game, and it was even mythic. Back in Chapter 1 days, mythic, the minigun, would never have to reload. You could keep spamming it until it ran out of ammo. You could have 1,000 bullets and just spam until you can run out of ammo. And when he was introduced in Chapter 2, Season 2, he had a full base called the Grotto, and he had a bunch of henchmen around him that would protect him. He was a very, very powerful boss with his minigun and all the henchmen. If you killed him, you got his mythic minigun and key card, and I think he had the best vault in Chapter 2, Season 2. Alright, number 7, Huntmaster Saber. This guy was released last season, Chapter 3, Season 2. Now this one, he was similar to Wolverine. He used the same powers that he did. When I first eliminated this guy, I'm like, oh my god, I'm about to get Wolverine's mythics. But once you killed him, you got a mythic scoped AR. And, I mean, the gun's okay in my opinion, but it's not really the best gun. It's similar to the DMR we have in this season. And, he also had a different power where he could teleport. If you try to run from this guy, he would immediately just teleport right to you and try to kill you. If the only way to really kill this guy was to just get far away from him. If you were up close, he could just use his Wolverine mythics on you. Number 6, Midas. This guy was a favorite character to a lot of people, including mine. He had a lot of styles on himself. But in Chapter 2, Season 2, when he was released as a boss at the agency, he was very powerful. His drum gun can literally just spam you, in 2 seconds, if you were at full HP. If you were looking and he was right behind you, you'd be dead in 2 seconds. So that's why you have to, stay far away from this guy and have some, stuff behind you if you want to defeat him. Because you would need a lot of heals if you're going to take this guy down. He had a good vault, but it wasn't the best vault. And he was very powerful. Alright, number 5, Dr. Doom. Now this guy, he had 2 mythics. his ones where you could shoot stuff out of his hand, and the ball. He could, like, it's similar to Iron Man's where he goes up and, like, shoots his unit, like, his repulsor gloves. He, like, went up and, like, shot, like, green stuff out of his hand. It did, like, 20 damage, but it was very powerful. You could, like, go up in the air and just shoot people. And his ball, if you fire it at someone, it could have done, I think, 60 damage. So it was very powerful. And once you threw it, it set on fire to, like, builds, trees. Like, if you were in Weeping Woods with that mythic, oh, the whole village or the trees would be on fire. Even the houses would be on fire. Number 4, Iron Man. Now, like I said for Dr. Doom, he could go up and shoot repulsor beams out of his gloves. And these did 20 damage, but you could shoot them constantly. You couldn't stop. Well, you did stop, but you couldn't stop for a while. And he also had a second mythic, too, that could do 90 damage with his Unibeam. A lot of people thought that this mythic was overpowered, and it was. And he had his own place called Stark Industries, and that was probably the best POI on the map that season. It had God Loot. You could literally get a scar and a golden pump in, like, 2 chests. That's how good the loot was at that POI. And he had henchmen everywhere. And they had this new gun that was kind of like the Sloan mythic. I think it was like the Stark rifle. And it did 20 damage, but it could shoot fast like it was an AR. And it did a lot of damage. And, like, if you killed Iron Man, you would get his 2 mythics, his key card that would give him the vault, give you the vault, and then you could get literal God loot. Literally just from landing that place. And then you can just go kill the lobby. Alright, number 3, Foundation. This guy was very powerful. He had a mythic Mark 7 assault rifle, the first person gun to ever be released in Fortnite. And it was very, very powerful. He also had this other thing he used. He threw a rock at people that was similar to the Dr. Doom mythics, but he didn't drop. But it was okay. And then he was very powerful. Like there was a lot of boss battles of him versus people, and he won a lot. That's how powerful he was. And the mythic, I think it was very powerful. It was like an SMG and an AR combined. That's how fast it shot. Alright, number 2, Wolverine. Now, a lot of you might disagree, but I say he's one of the most powerful bosses ever in Fortnite. He was like Huntmaster Saber, but way more powerful. If you killed him, you got a thing where if you had it, you would heal up while you run. It was like Men Mist, but you like had it in your hand. Like it was like his mythic. And his other mythic is when you had like the slice that like you would spin and then dash right on him, and then you can like fight him with like your claws, like a pickaxe, but way more powerful. And he was a very powerful boss. Alright, number 1, the Storm King. Now, I don't know if you guys really remember this guy, because he was last seen in Chapter 2, Season 1. He was seen in Chapter 2, Season 7, but we're not going to talk about that one. And, like, he was a boss for Fortnitemares, and the only way to really beat this guy was the Sky Base. He was very powerful, and I think he's probably the most powerful one out of this whole list, because, like, if you fought him like you were fighting a player, you would not live. Like, he would shoot, like, a whole beam out of his mouth that would do a lot of damage, and he would also send zombies after you took a couple damage from him. And I don't think it's possible to beat this guy, like, one-on-one, like you were fighting a player. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If this video gets to 1,000 likes, I'll do another video where I name the top 10 weakest bosses. Alright, peace.